Something about the old bagpipes, eh? So they get you there. If you're a Celt, they fill that hole. They tell you who you are and bring you to a special place. Think of the Scottish Highlands and William Wallace, independence. He died for Scottish freedom. Now watch the old referendum. I was trying to figure out what happened there. So I wrote this little poem. It's called Scottish Independence. Her husband had changed a lot since that fateful day when he had a chance to vote either yea or nay. She put her arm around her man and said, "Hey Billy boy, you okay?" He poked the fire and sparks fly. He sighs as his eye and his voice just trailed away. It's been a while since he had spoken about the voting on that fateful day when Scotland had the chance of independence by voting yea or nay. He'd lost some weight and appetite, and sometimes he didn't speak for days. She cooked him his favourite food, but he just pushed the plate away. She had not seen him this depressed since Rangers had been demoted. And now, to make matters worse, it had been a while since the son and him had spoken. You see, he'd always been a Rangers man, as his father had before. Indeed, the shirt and scarf were by the sash, hanging by the door. He loved to walk the highlands with his son by his side. Sure, it was there he had honeymooned with the bonny bride. On a summer's day, rolled in the grass, soft words he had spoken. They made love, their son conceived, by the banks of Loch Lomond. He'd walk the highlands, pipes and kilt, with a boy by his side, tell him the stories of heroes past, with a Scottish brogue and pride. Of 100 battles won and lost against the English foe, he would quote Robbie Burns as they walked along those highland roads. Flow gently, sweet Afton, among thy green braes. Flow gently, I'll sing thee a song in thy praise. My Mary's asleep by the murmuring stream. Flow gently, sweet Afton, disturb not her dream. Robbie Burns. He told of the Highland clearances, and just like the Irish, the Scots too have been sold as slaves to the West Indies. Whole families sold or in chains to Botany Bay. They would stop and pay homage at the place where their kin had fought and died. Now these rolling hills with summer ghosts, where the sweet curlew cried. The wars of independence of Bannockburn, Stirling, and of William Wallace, who gave his life to be hung, drawn and quartered for Scottish liberty, betrayed by a fellow Scotsman, John Menteith, and tried for treason. They stuck his head on a spike to be spat upon by the English lords and hordes in an act of desecration. This humiliation of the Scottish nation by the Sassenach he loathed and despised. I hate traitors, may they burn in hell, he would often cry. To the boy, his father was his hero. They shared that Scottish pride. Often on those dark wintry nights when the wind was howling high, the rain pelting against the bedroom window, he would sit with the boy, retell the stories of Scottish heroes, of their bravery past. The lad would repeat the tales to the others in his class. The sense of pride in his son's eyes was there for all to see, as his father talked of sacrifices and the loss of Scottish liberty. Dad, I'd like to ask you a question. There's something I would like to know. Aye, lad, ask away. Away you go. When we had a chance at independence, Dad, did you vote yes or no? The father's eyes filled with shame. His son knew straight away. But the boy was confused. how his own dad could have betrayed the heroes past that gave their lives that lie in Scottish graves. The father stuttered, eyes averted, he stared down at the ground. An awkward moment of silence, the void of sound that was hard to fill. The rain drilled a rat-tat-tat against the glass as it fell to the sill, like the marching sounds of drums and fife on the 12th day of July. On that day he'd play his pipes to his son's delight and wave as he'd go by. When he'd wear his sash, he cut a dash as the pipers marched beneath the Scottish sky. Well, the boy spoke and the silence broke. He jumped with a start. It was like someone had driven a knife straight through his heart. But Dad, after all you said about traitors, the boy cried like someone had cut his heart. The father knew their bond was broken. No more words need be spoken. You see, on the 18th of September 2014, he voted no instead of yes. Sad to say, it was on that day he lost his son's respect. And now he sits by the fire, a sad and broken man. Why he had voted no, he didn't understand. What had happened to his Scottish pride? He just sighed and cried. His own son turned his back on him. He wouldn't look him in the eye.